Okay, with it being my favourite film, every time I watch Joker, I seem to notice more and more throughout the film and little details that you might have never even noticed. I've got 10, there's plenty more, let's get into them. Okay, to start off, the scene where Arthur is getting fired, around one of the corners you might notice something previously mentioned on a TV. Okay, did no one spot it? Well, here you go, here's what it is.
So everybody's heard about the super rats that are in Gotham now, right?
Yeah, I definitely think you got that right. Okay, on to number 9. Throughout my favourite sequence of the film, from Arthur being chased to getting on a subway train to then a fight breaking out through something Arthur may have caused, the scene where he's walking out of the subway, you notice at the start he has a blatant smile on his face and at the end seems somewhat guilty. This to me, every time I see it, represents the fact that Arthur is not fully confident as being the Joker until the penultimate Murray scene. Okay, a fan favourite for most people is the subway scene from when Arthur is just sitting to then he starts cracking up because of his condition to then getting mimicked by someone who couldn't look any more like Jonah Hill. Although Arthur tries to let them know that he's got a condition and then tries to fight back, that he ends up getting the shit kicked out of him, which ends up in him shooting all three of them and hunting the last guy down. Now this is what brings me on to it. Okay, so after Arthur shoots his third victim, you can see him looking dazed and confused, and then what does he do? Oh yeah, runs through this beautiful wide shot and then goes to the bathroom for a little bit of a dance. Even though the bathroom scene is creepy, especially with the score, this is where it gets disturbing. Arthur has clearly been aroused by the thought of killing and the act of killing, that he goes and imagines a situation where he goes and has sex with Sophie. I mean, you go you, hun. Judging by that, she clearly wants it.
What are you doing in here?
Maybe not, but every cloud, you already shot your shot 3 times. In one of the most important scenes when it comes to understanding Arthur's character, there's something that shows Arthur's dedication for his obsession with Murray. The Joker is an exaggerated person. When Murray comes out, he twirls round and just does a little introduction dance. When Arthur comes out later, this is his exaggerated version. Look at the footwork on that.
I gotta take it out of your paycheck. Are we clear?
Well, this scene is without a doubt the creepiest within the film. It's about 30 seconds of pure staring, and then ends with Arthur kicking the shit out some bins out the back. Now, this for me reminds me of another scene in one of my other favourite films.
You've got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere. Go check out the snowcat in the radio and you'll see what I mean. Go check it out!
Could it just be a coincidence? And seeing Jack Nicholson play the Joker amazingly?
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Okay, arguably the most iconic scene and one of the best scenes throughout the entire film is the stairs scene. Now, the thing that sticks out for me in this is the contrast between this scene and the beginning. Okay, towards the start of the film, you see Arthur approach some stairs, stop, look up, and then walk up them at a terribly slow pace. And this is to show how downtrodden the character is. And it also paints a very clear picture that he's very aware of his surroundings. Like, he's got no facial movement. He's not looking around him. He's not looking if he's going to bump into anyone. He knows no one is coming near him. Okay, in another iconic scene with the tear while Arthur's trying to force out a smiling face. This shows another load of contrast in the film where Arthur has got a tear of pure distress and sadness coming out. Later on in the film, he still seems distressed. Oh no, do you reckon? But it almost looks like a tear of joy as he has become the Joker. Okay, going back to the first scene where Arthur's twirling the sign round and then his sign gets stolen and smashed to pieces over his head. That is a traumatic experience to happen to anyone. But when Arthur is laying on the floor, it pans over the broken sign, and then because he is that comedian and he sees the funny side, because Arthur finds society so hypocritically funny, he reaches not to check if he's hurt, but to send the water coming out of his little flower. Flowers are a staple part of clown's costume, and before things like Pennywise, clowns were the face of comedy. Okay, sticking with this scene, this is such a little point, but I think it's so clever in terms of a direction and what it stands for. This shot is the same as the shot at the end of the film where Bruce and his parents are followed into the alleyway and his parents are gunned down in front of him. The reason that this is smart is because this is clearly where Arthur gets jumped at the start of the film and is a big turning point for when he goes down a road of violence and pain. This is also where Bruce Wayne encounters his major experience with pain, which turns him into Batman.
To them, you're just a freak. Like me.
In the first scene where you're really trying to understand Arthur, the therapist scene, there's something that's really clever and it's very subtle, but it's right there and it's very obvious what it means. In both the therapist office and also the flashback to Arkham Asylum, the clocks are the exact same time, and this is to represent that nothing in Arthur's life is moving forward. Now that is very subtle, but at the same time it is very obvious, especially with the Arkham Asylum shot. So those are my top 10 things that I noticed in Joker that you might not have. If you did enjoy the video, then let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.
Write my rhymes in a death note. Kill a career, but you already know it's time to stop thinking that you're making dough. Just please do as I said so and go.